Hello, it's Shirley and Sir Winston here. We've been just playing a game of memory with ornaments that we've had from the Jessie tree. When I was a little girl, I played a game of memory with cards trying to match them up. But how we're playing is we're taking one of the ornaments and see if we can name the story. I bet you can name this one. That's Joseph and his coat of many colors. And Sir Winston did quite well. He knew this one, Noah and Noah's Ark, but he got stumped on one. This one, with the lamb. It's the story of Samuel. So I hope you'll stay with me while I tell Sir Winston the story of Samuel.
The story of Samuel really starts with his mother Hannah. She had been married many years, but had not had any children. Even though her husband really loved her and treated her very kindly, she was very sad that she did not have children. One day, when they made their yearly trip to Shiloh to offer sacrifices at the temple, Hannah made a promise to God in prayer. "If you give me a son, then I will give him to you for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head." This was a very special dedication to God. Eli, the chief priest, noticed that she was praying, but he couldn't hear words coming out of her moving mouth. He went over and spoke to her, thinking that she had drunk too much wine. When she told him of her great anguish and grief, Eli answered, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant what you have asked of him." In time, Hannah gave birth to a son, named Samuel, and after the boy was weaned, she took him to the house of the Lord at Shiloh. This was the place where they kept the Ark of the Covenant. After they had made sacrifices to God, Samuel's parents took the boy to Eli the chief priest, and Hannah reminded him of their meeting and said that the Lord had granted her desire for a child, and now she was giving the child to the Lord. Each year, Samuel's parents came to do their yearly sacrifice, and Hannah would bring Samuel a new little robe she had made. Eli would bless them and pray that they would have more children. In time, they had 3 more sons and 2 daughters. Samuel continued to grow and serve the Lord under Eli. In those days, the Lord did not speak to his people often, and there were not many visions. Eli had served the Lord well, but his sons did not, and God was not pleased with them, but God was pleased with Samuel. One night, before the lamp of God went out, while Samuel was lying down in his normal place in the temple, and Eli was lying down in his usual place, the Lord called Samuel. Samuel, thinking it was Eli, went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." Eli said, "My son, I did not call. Go back and lay down." Samuel went back and lay down. Then Samuel heard his name called again, and again he went to Eli, and again Eli told him he hadn't called and to go back and lay down. When this happened a 3rd time, Eli realized that the Lord was calling Samuel. So Eli told Samuel to go back and lie down, and if his name was called again, he should say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." So Samuel went and lay down again, and the Lord came down and stood there calling, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." The Lord sent Samuel a vision, which he told Eli about the next day. The Lord remained with Samuel as he grew up, and Samuel was recognized as a prophet of the Lord.
Sir Winston thought that was a pretty neat story. He was telling me that it's very special to hear God call your name. I was telling Sir Winston, too, that there's 2 books in the Bible named after Samuel, and they tell the story of Samuel and the start of the kings of Israel, particularly Saul and David. And David is somewhere in this list, so we're going to let Sir Winston figure that one out. Shall we have a little prayer together before Sir Winston and I go back to playing this game? If you could bow your heads and repeat after me. Loving God, thank you for being with us. Help us to hear you when you call us. Help us to be kind to others and to your world. Amen. And we'll see you next time at Kids Corner.